I will never give up. I never give up. When I've come so close, I will never give up. I never give up. When I've come so close.
We're going to go live on my end as well, so hold on in there.
Underground radio.
What does it mean to be underground? It means you gotta be free to be underground. Yo, you got your own key when you're underground. If you're listening to me, yo, you underground.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Connected with Cari. You already saw my guest. But that is okay because there was no introduction. There was no formalities, if you will. So y'all can just wait a second until we get to that part. First of all, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for tuning in this evening. I know, I think the Blue Jays game is on here soon or is on right now. And in honor of that, I don't have any Blue Jays paraphernalia or memorabilia or any of the sort. So I thought I'd sport my Drake shirt because he represents the six. And he kind of owns a clothing line, and so does my guest. So I thought it was kind of cool that maybe they'll go hand in hand. And it's blue, all that stuff. So whatever. Just bear with me and we'll have some fun with it. So thank you for tuning in. If you're catching the replay, hopefully the Jays won again. Let's just fingers crossed, right? So game 2. So let's just go with the flow. We're going to have a lot of fun. You are watching me through Underground Radio. See if you're also through maybe catching on either YouTube or you're catching it on Facebook, either through Underground Radio C or through Jess TV or Jess FM. If you're listening to your radio, we're through 101 as well, the Roku app. So if you want to catch us on the big screen, Roku, download the 101 app and look for Jess FM or Jess TV, one of the two. It's on there and you'll see us nice and big and live in your living room, and you can sit there and watch. If you're in your car, please drive carefully, but you can also watch us on YouTube and listen to us there as well. We're also live through Meta TV, which we've been doing that for now. I always want to say it's been a couple months, but it hasn't. It's probably been like a year, so which is pretty cool. Not your regular Meta TV, like, how it's Meta Facebook and Meta Instagram. No, this is a little bit different. This is Meta TV. Which goes over to like Italy, and shouts out to Italy because NCG Television Network in Italy are also watching, and it is like 3 a.m. over there. So if you guys are live and you're watching, thank you. Sit back, relax, grab a cappuccino, and have an awesome Sunday because it's Sunday over there. Maybe they know the outcome of the Jays game before we do. What do you guys think? I don't know. We'll figure that out after, right? So maybe if you're in Italy, comment below. We'll see what happens and go from there. Without further ado, I welcome my guest. You saw the posts going through our stories and going through Facebook and going through Instagram. You may have caught a couple comments here back and forth. And if not, welcome my guest, Mr. Law. How do you say your last name?
Cayetano.
Cayetano. Okay, I was like, is it Cayetano? Cayetano. Okay, that's perfect because in that way I don't have to say it. So, welcome to the show. Law and I met through a mutual guest that was on quite a while ago. Actually, there's two parts to that. We had, I met a good friend, Abel, who, well, he's not like, I would say like good friend, but we've been knowing each other like over the year or so through another mutual friend, through Coach Harple, which is through Kids Play Foundation. He's like, hey, you might want to meet Abel. Actually, it's been a good year or so, year and a half since we met. And we met at the Stampeders game. And through that, and then he's like, yeah, Abel and I talked, and he's like, oh, do you want to have my son on your show? Because his son is Jacob Pangling, who just went and did some boxing and all that kind of stuff. So everyone sort of intertwines. So Law is also here. He's part of the whole groupies, which is pretty cool. He'll introduce himself and what's going on. Abel is the father, Jacob, as I said. Abel does a lot of the Ryzek. He's from the Ryzek community, which is the immigrants and all those coming through Canada. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. I'm going to have him back on in a little while, but he's been touring with his son across and doing all his boxing tournaments and everything. So La, if you want to formally introduce yourself, we'll kind of go from there. But as you introduce yourself, I'm going to give you the solo screen. And also, can you please tell us how you and Abel met? And then we'll get into how you were a sponsor for Jacob as well. All right?
Sounds good.
It's a loaded question. If you forget, we'll go back.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
Thanks everyone. Thank you, Cari, for having me on your show. Again, my name is Cayetano. I'm the CEO and founder of Relentless lifestyle clothing brand. And we've been grinding now for the last 5 years. And it actually first started out as a detailing company, Relentless Auto Salon. It was very lucrative, but very labor intensive and time consuming. And time was not on my side. So I still sold merchandise. Actually, I gave merchandise, Relentless clothing, to my clients as like a thank you gift. And then it evolved to just strictly clothing. So we've been doing clothing now for 3 years, strictly clothing. And a little bit more on that later. To answer your question, Abel and I are close relatives. He's married to my second cousin, Annabelle. And so we've been, I guess, off and on at family functions and whatnot. And I really took to the kids, Jacob and Liam, in their boxing journey, just how hardworking and relentless they were, because they would train, they would get up at 4 a.m., train at 5 a.m., go to school, and then train again after school. So I reached out and I asked Abel and Annabelle if I could sponsor their kids and help them in any way possible to continue with their boxing journey. At the moment, Jacob his goal is to make the 2028 Canadian national team for boxing. And Liam, he's still too young to be at that level, but he's, I believe, going to be able to compete in nationals for 2026. Jacob won nationals in 2025 this year, so he's Canadian's national champion at the 70 kilo weight class. And so part of our Relentless's way of sponsoring Jacob is I collaborated with my brother, who owns Team Kasama, which is a off-road off-road lighting company. And so we collaborated and made this t-shirt, which is basically Jacob, and his boxing name is the Typhoon. Underneath here it says ranked #1 in the nation, and then on the back of it is all his accolades from 2024. So the shirt is still for sale, $60, and a portion of the proceeds go towards his camps and tournament fees and whatnot, whatever he needs to continue in his pursuit of boxing. So that's how I met Abel and the Pagaling family.
Oh, that's so cool, right? I think Abel kind of told me along the way, and I was like, oh, I don't remember. So, because when my guests pop up and I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to have our show soon. I'm like, oh, trying to remember where we met or however. And then I'm like, then it's kind of in the back of my mind. And then as we introduce, then it's like, oh yeah, okay, I remember. And anyway, So it's pretty cool how tight-knit families or tight-knit friends can help each other out in, even in sponsoring, because nowadays it's really hard to find a sponsor that's like even willing to put even a little bit of money towards it, or just to do above and beyond, like you said, like you're making merchandise for him, which then in return, say down the road, he sees that shirt and he's like, oh yeah, I remember that time. And, they were all doing these things together, and we're doing off-road videos, and we're doing, touring here and there. It brings back those memories, which makes it kind of special for everyone who's got a shirt, or if it's in his closet and he brings it out and he's like, oh yeah, I remember this. So, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So congratulations for helping him out there. What I wanted to ask you though was, why Relentless? Why was that? Yeah.
Why Relentless? So if you look in the dictionary, relentless just means, a lot of people think relentless is a bad word or has bad connotation to it, which I guess it might. But relentless is like not giving up. Like even when the odds are against you, the storm is just relenting. You don't give up. And that was my mentality, and still is like, yes, we're in, a recession. Yes, we just went through a crazy pandemic. Yes, we're still recovering, but time doesn't wait for anybody. And I believe that you shouldn't let your dreams go to the wayside or sit on the shelf and collect dust. Like when we were children, we wanted to be doctors, lawyers, firemen, policemen, but then life, happens and you get married, you have children or what have you, or you get injured, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, my dreams are over. But no, you dig deep, you find the time, and you make those dreams happen. It's a mindset. So it's like almost like a motivational speech, right? Like if you think you can, you're right. Or if you think you can't, you're right. So even if the odds are against you, you continue. And that's what Relentless is about. Just don't give up. Like I currently work a 12-hour job as my day job at night. So I do a 2 weeks on, 1 week off rotation. And in between those times, I'm still designing clothing, pushing merch, and now because social media is such a prevalent advertising media, it's doing content. And I'm definitely not great at creating content, but I'm still doing it because I know if I don't, no one's going to know what Relentless lifestyle is or what we offer. So we keep on keeping on. We hustle and grind. My motto is hustle and grind, don't leave your dreams behind. And that's, Relentless to a T. Like I work 12-hour shifts, but I still find the time to design, create content, post content, package the merch, go to the post office or the courier and send them out, So very little time in the day, but you make the time. If you really want to do it, you make the time.
Yeah. They say, if you love something enough or, you're passionate about something, then you will definitely be putting a lot of effort into that. You literally are relentless, if you will.
Thank you.
Which is great. That's so awesome. And so how, thinking to your whole relentless lifestyle, if you will, of, you're pushing and you're grinding and you're working, and then you have your kids. How are you keeping them motivated, even though you're like, I don't even know if I want to leave the house today, and you got to get up and you got to push them, excuse me, right out the door as well to be able to go to, practices and, get to that boxing studio and then just, and like, so how is this, like, how do we go and get up and we're like, okay, we got to drop them off here and then we got to go over here and then I still have to work 12 hours at the end of the day. Take us through that relentless lifestyle of, motivating the children. How does that go? How does that work?
Actually, like my oldest son is a personal trainer. His side hustle is personal training. His full-time job is he's a car salesman for Capital, Chevrolet, and GMC, and he motivates me because his content is very uplifting and motivational, and so it's we kind of feed off each other. So when he's down, I motivate him, and when I'm down, he motivates me. It goes hand in hand, but honestly, I just think of the end goal. Like when I don't want to get out of bed and I'm just tired of whatever, I'm not feeling the vibes today. I just think of the end goal. Like what happens if I don't get up? I sit in bed and do nothing. I eat chips and watch YouTube all day, which is, every person needs a break for sure, and you're allowed to have a break, but make sure that those breaks aren't too long, or get back on the horse and grind it out again, because at the end of the day, we're only on this earth one time as this body, whatever. And I always say to myself, I wasn't put on this earth just to eat, sleep, work, repeat. I was put on this earth to be something, be better. And whether it's the merchandise giving financial freedom to do whatever I want, or to do what I want to do instead of working, for everyone else out there, an 8-hour job Monday to Friday, or the real hard labor workers that do the 12-hour shifts, nurses. Oh my goodness, kudos to them. They work 1 billion hours a week. They work hard, and I'm sure they're tired, but they also find a way to enjoy life on their time off. And that's what I do. Like my youngest son lives with his mom, and we communicate all the time. And when he doesn't want to go to work, I say the same thing. Well, if you don't go to work, how are you supposed to go hang out with your boys at the bar or the movies or whatever if you don't have money, right? So he's slowly figuring that out too. But definitely living with my oldest, we feed off each other for motivation.
Yeah, because it's a lot, right? Day in, day out, on top of just your regular job. Having, a child who is motivated enough to do a sport, and that it can be an Olympic sport, and the dedicated hours that you're going to have to put into it, and that you're going to have to get up early. For you, you're working nights, so you're kind of already awake in the morning, but that's running overtime if it's not like a day off, and then, so, you must like drop him off, and do you go back home, or do you actually stay?
Oh, Jacob and Liam aren't my kids, so Abel takes them to the gym at 5 a.m.
Okay, but your son is a personal trainer, you said, though, but does he train them at all?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, Anthony is my oldest, and he's just like general fitness, personal training, as opposed to just straight up boxing. And he takes himself to the gym and to his clients and whatnot. My kids are grown. I shouldn't even call them kids, but because they're my kids, they're my kids.
They're still your kids.
Yes.
They're always your kids. Yes. They're always your babies, as every parent will say, they're always your babies. Doesn't matter if they're 100 years old, they're still your baby.
That's right.
So, as you hear, every person will say that, oh, they're my baby. But yeah, so yeah, just, that's the thing. Not even like you're not motivating your own child, you're motivating someone else's kids to go, hey, I want to sponsor you, and congratulations to you. And they're, keeping them motivated enough to be able to go and do an Xboxing fight and be able to do another one and go, hey, like, I'm cheering you on from the background and going, hey, let's be relentless together and let's just go, go, go. I'm here, I'm cheering for you. Because then now, like you said, okay, I thought for a second he was, but no, okay. Got all confused, which is okay. So like I said, now it's an extra and above and beyond duty of being like an uncle, right? So you're having to show that support outside going, hey, like, I'm here for you and let's do this, let's kill it, let's, and show that motivation. So now when you're doing your 12 hours at work and you're doing, your other relentless stuff on the side of doing your merchandise and everything else, and then on top, trying to motivate someone else, it's like your nephew, and going, hey, okay, like, I'm here for you. So that's going to be pretty hard in itself, but also, I don't know, I also kind of see the other side to it, where you kind of maybe feel a little bit honored to be able to sit on the side and go, hey, like, that's my nephew and he's out there and he's doing all the fun things. So let's talk about the rewards of being relentless.
Well, great
and
question.
And the rewards through your business too. Let's talk about that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
They go hand in hand. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely they do. And the rewards of Relentless is definitely multifaceted, because I have been blessed with a job, whether it's a 12-hour, 2-week on rotation. I'm working. I have a home, I have a vehicle, food, clothing, shelter, all that stuff. So I am grateful, I am blessed, and I'm humbled by that. And I give back. So a portion of the sales of Relentless merchandise go towards the less fortunate. I do donate to the mustard seed on a regular basis, but I also will go and bring used clothing and blankets, pillows. And if I do see homeless on the street, I will pull over and ask them if they want a coffee and a sandwich, and go to Timmy's or whatever fast food places nearby, buy them some food and have some conversation with them, ask them how they're doing, what they're doing, and what they, how are they mentally, because it's tough being on the streets. Here in Calgary in the wintertime, it gets pretty darn cold, and the shelters only allow for so many people. So a lot of them set up camps all over Calgary, build a tent and whatnot. So if I carry a recycle bin in my truck, and whenever I finish drinking a pop or a water, I just toss it in the bin, and I'll give it to them. I'll give them that bag of recycled bottles, or again, buy them meals and whatnot. We lost our mom to cancer a few years ago, and I used to donate to the Canadian Cancer Society. And I can't even remember how I found out, but not all the donation money gets put towards actual cancer research. So I was a little disappointed by that. And so instead of me donating money to those charities and whatnot, that's why I buy the sandwiches, or I'll drop off some pillows and blankets to the mustard seed, so that they have extra bedding for the people there. And again, the reward of Relentless with Jacob is he exudes what we stand for, like his hustle and his grind and his dedication and unrelenting will to become a world champion, to become an Olympic champion, to become a professional champion. It's incredible. And it doesn't go to his head. Like they went to Montana last week. Mm-hmm. Oh, apparently, yeah, his fighters canceled. So he didn't fight, but he went to Toronto, I think about a month ago, and he fought a 22-year-old Serbian semi-pro and
crazy.
whooped him. And the referee deducted 2 points off of Jacob, and he still won. Like, this kid is just crazy. And for him to wear the Relentless logo on his shirt and his shorts, he is the epitome of Relentless. Like, he just doesn't give up. Like, that's
kid, are you gonna sit down or
for real? Like, that 22-year-old, he had like neck tattoo and tattoos on his shoulder. Like, he looked like an MMA fighter. I was scared for Jacob, but Jacob didn't care.
Yeah,
he's like he still bleeds red like I do. So he's human, you know. Yeah. He can still feel pain. So I'm gonna give it to him. And sure enough, he won. And yeah, he's going hard.
Right. I think that's part of training, you know, is whether someone looks like something that is fearful, you know, like, oh man, this guy's like 3 times my size, like he's had tattoos and, you know, from a country that's just going to sit on you and they'll win, you know, like barbarian. That's when it's good training, because then, you know, like it's mental. Mm-hmm. It's not even like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'm just going to walk off, you know, the boxing ring because I can't even fight this guy because he looks too scary. Yeah. So, but that's, you know, the training where it's really mental for a lot of these athletes to, again, and they're, you know, they could be so tired from training, going to the gym and back and forth and hours and hours and hours, especially before a big fight, you know, and then to be able to go out there and then see the opponent going, oh man, like, I'm a scrawny kid and this guy is like 5 times the size of me, like he's a giant. And, you know, but then that's it. Like, you got to train for that. And like I said, it's mostly mental, where, you know, you got to push everything aside mentally and go, no, like I can take this guy on. Because you don't know, like, you don't know how he fights. Or if the trainer's a really good trainer, they'll have some footage of how their opponent fights and then be able to pick apart that and go, hey, you know, he mostly swings left. So, you know, give him some more upper jabs instead of, you know, cross the whatever. So that, you know, they know some tricks of the trade. And, you know, it's like any sport, they'll go and they'll watch footage and go, okay, there's the weak side. Where can we get him?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So now if you're the opponent, you want to make sure there's no footage out there that they can see your weak side, right?
Right. Exactly.
So it's, you know, it's one of those things where you're like, oh, okay, how do we manage this? But I mean, it's true. So if you're a really, really good trainer, you're going to pull them aside and go, okay. So with him fighting the way he does, and he's representing the Relentless brand, like you said, just totally relentless out there, and just not like, he's showing, like you said, just he's fighting every single day. He's putting the work in. He's getting there. He's training. He's doing all the things, and just mentally go. Like, it's incredible to be able to see that, and then to be able to put his name out there and be able to have advertising for him. Like, you know, I put up our little promo video, and I was like, I really wanted to show the audience a little bit really behind what Relentless was and what you guys kind of stand for. And so I was like, okay, we'll get the mean vehicle out there, you know, then the merchandise. And then there was Jacob just fighting away. So I hope I kind of hit the nail on the head with each of them. Cause I was like, you know, what do we really see? And so I was stalking your Instagram, and I was like, okay, take bits and pieces. But this is why I get to know my guests a little bit more doing that, because then I'm like, okay, I'll put a promo video together and I'll go, hey, do you is this, what you stand for? Is this something that you want the audience to see and you want to cross all the socials so people can see that? And then if it's like, yeah, that's perfect, or, make a change here, change there, then I want them to see like, okay, I want them to be proud in that and go, this is what we stand for. Because I know you're going to come on and everyone will, they'll see the videos, but they don't get to see your face necessarily and go, okay, this is the brand behind the brand, right? Yeah. This is the face, this is the name, this is who we are, and be able to come on and talk about it and go, no, like, this is, yeah, sure, we, put our name on brands and we do this, whatever, but this is like the inside of us. Like, this is how we work and why we are Relentless and why we wanted to call it that. So it's pretty cool to be able to see that and have you go, yeah, like, this is what we do. Is there anything through the process of creating your brand that has been probably the toughest part for you?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, a lot of it. I at first, when we developed the brand, it was like men's mental health focused. So it was trying to create images or designs that promoted or advocated for mental health. So thinking of slogans and whatnot, but not just slogans. It also had to be designed in a way that was fashionable, like people would want to wear. And again, that kind of went by the wayside, and I was like, oh, let's just, it's not working. So we were currently on still semi streetwear-ish styles, yeah, but also on the motivational side of things. And I have a little bit of Christian merchandise as well. Right. But
before you go on, I just want to ask you real quick. So what wasn't working that you found? Just like I don't think I was getting enough traction, because I still think there's a huge stigma for mental health for men, right? Mm-hmm. The stereotype, is for the men are to, suck it up, men don't cry. Oh, you have to always stay strong and, do your thing. But, and I grew up in an old school Filipino family where 100% men don't cry and they get the job done. So even if you're hurting inside, you bury that thing deep, and you continue to, make a living for your family. And so I went through a lot of that and felt, I can be better if I can express how I feel. Yeah. And when I do, it feels like a weight is lifted. So, and then you feel like the slate is almost clean and you get to start fresh. So I was trying to push men's mental health and trying to break that stigma, but it wasn't catching traction. And I guess I had higher expectations, wasn't as patient, and was at that instant gratification mode or feeling. And I was like, oh, I'm not selling anything. I'm not getting any, comments or anything. Right. And I kind of rebranded, and I still advocate for men's mental health. And again, another reason why I do donate, portions of the sales. I mean, I'm not, chauvinistic. I will help women too, like homeless. Oh, yes, by the way, guys.
homeless, the needy or needy, whether you're male, female, black, white, brown, purple, green, yellow.
Thank you for mentioning that, because I wasn't even thinking that at all.
Yeah,
Right?
no, I
It's not
figured I'd
just
say
for
it.
men.
No, 'cause
You do have women's Relentless products too. I think even in that video was a woman model. So there you go. We're good.
yes, I do have clothing for women as well. I'm not just, it's not just all men. A lot of it is unisex, to be honest. But in the future, I do want to have Relentless line specifically for the ladies, because ladies are relentless too.
Oh yeah,
And
we are.
they need, when you go to the gym or when you're going to the supermarket or you're going to whatever it is that you're doing, you want to be comfortable and you want to look good.
If you do a yoga line, let me know, because I do yoga, so
Perfect.
I'll rock it at the gym.
It's coming. There is some stuff in the works. There will be an athletic line for ladies in the future, so it's coming. Super excited.
Yeah, I'm excited now too. Be like, look, I'm Relentless today, guys. Which will be fun. Now, okay, you are continuing on. Well, I want you to continue on. You were about to say, about the religious part.
Yeah, I do think, I am a Christian. Was raised Catholic, but some of the Catholic just didn't make sense to me, and I kind of strayed away from religion for, I guess in my teens and 20s, and then just suddenly I was like, took an interest to it, and yeah, I got baptized at First Alliance Church, and I do have some Christian pieces. Very simple. Like on the front, it says sinner. So everyone thinks, oh, this guy's a bad guy or this girl's a bad girl. But then on the back, there's a cross and it says forgiven. So, there's a little bit of fun aspect of that. And I do believe in God, and I do believe that if you do right by him, you will go to heaven. And if you don't, then you'll probably not end up.
And good luck.
Basically.
Y'all are on your own.
Yeah. And again, I don't push religion heavily, because everyone to each their own, and I respect everyone's religion and their thoughts towards it, so I do have pieces out there for those that want to wear something spiritual
or relentlessly forgiven.
Correct.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, it is very interesting to see how people take aspects of their life and put it into their business or into a product or into what they're promoting, whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like you said, everyone has their own different religion or what they want to stand up for. I think, like you said, it's really what you are standing up for. You are saying, the one reason why I really, really wanted to have you on the show was for the fact that you do give back to the communities. But like you said, you'll drive around and go, here's a cup of coffee, here's a donut, whatever, to be able to help the homeless. Because I know that situation where there's so many homeless in Calgary. It's insane. And I know the stories and the behind the scenes, all that kind of stuff. I very well know that from someone who works with the community. So I know hand in hand. I've also had Chaz Smith on my platform before as well to talk about the homeless. I need him back sometime. Just to kind of, winter's coming up, and it's true. Like when it gets colder outside, those shelters are full. So what can we do? What can we do to just help something nice and warm to be able to drink, or a blanket, or an extra scarf, or hats, or mitts, whatever you guys have kicking around? If somebody has something to be able to give, by all means, give it, right?
Absolutely.
That's what we're here for. And there's been days too, and I'm just thinking, I see these homeless people out there on the street and it's -30. And I'm going, oh, like, I don't even want to run from my house to the car. Right? Be able to start it up and, you're freezing your butt off.
Yeah.
So never mind that, but they're out there, they have nowhere to go, or they're in a cardboard box because that's the only shelter that they have. So think about that. I'm going, man, like, they are in themselves sometimes relentless to be able to go through those situations and be able to, even keep alive.
Absolutely.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. So thank you for sharing all those stories and what you do. We're going to wrap up. Is there a way, or how can somebody support you? Or do you have any, are you giving donations still, or what's, give us a little bit of that. Yeah.
I constantly donate to the Mustard Seed with clothing and blankets and whatnot. Like, the way my thought process works is, if I buy a new shirt, then I have to give a shirt up. So when I give that shirt up, it goes into a bin that I'm going to donate to the Mustard Seed, because, if I'm not going to use it, they will definitely use it. So same thing with pants, and socks and toques. As you can see, I wear a lot of toques because I have no insulation for myself. But so, whenever I buy something new, I always have to give something away. And so I always stockpile the clothes. My closet is a revolving door because I'm a bit of a shopaholic, and I think that's why the clothing brand was my thing, because it's just
you can make something new for yourself. You're like, oh, I'll take this.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So again, like I said, a portion of the sales of anything that I sell will go towards helping the needy, and I do have an assortment of t-shirts, pants, hoodies, coffee mugs, whatnot on my website, which is relentlesslifestyle.ca. Or I do stock some pieces here with me. So if you're local to Calgary and you want to, order a few pieces, then I can, meet up with you and we can, arrange a shirt or two or whatever it is that you wish to have. And if my clothing line isn't your thing, and you support me supporting, then I do take any donations. So if you have clothes to give, just, we can meet up and I'll do the donating. Or if you say, hey, if you're going to go buy pillows or blankets, here's $20 or whatever towards that, I'll gladly accept that as well. Because I do it, I can't give tax deductible receipt because it's all just done through cash. So it'll be from the goodness of your heart, my heart type of thing. But I am very grateful and blessed to have what I have, and I give back in any way I can. I was hoping to volunteer at the Mustard Seed for Thanksgiving. However, I had to work, so I wasn't able to. Yeah, but
there's other times, of course.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Christmas is coming, so maybe you can arrange your schedule and kind of see if you can squeeze in a couple days really close to Christmas or New Year's, right?
Yeah. Like one thing that I wanted to do, and I still want to do it, and I probably will do it, I just haven't figured out when, is to go to one of the Mustard Seed shelters and just have my booth there and give away, hot chocolate and coffees and donuts for a few hours, and even talk to the people there and, get to know them a little bit. Because that's another thing too, is they're people too. And, you know, we're compassionate to our friends and family. And sometimes they don't get that same compassion. And sometimes all they need is a hug or someone to talk to them and say, hey, how was your day? You know, just like we do. We have a long day, long crappy day. And, you know, you come home from work and sometimes you just say to your significant other, I just need a hug.
Yeah.
You know, or I just
bring it in.
I just want to vent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do for them. You know, they are going through some tough times too. And yeah, you know, a little goes a long way. Whether it's a smile, a coffee, or a hug, or a hello, you know, it will get them. It'll put a smile on their face at the very least. You know.
Yeah, that's so special. I think as well for men, especially for men's mental health, it's very important that they're able to discuss things after work if they're being vulnerable enough to be able to share it with you, because like just to have an ear for them is so important because they go through so much. And like you said, it's been kind of that stereotype of suck it up and, you know, don't tell anybody your problems or this or that, whatever. But if they have 30 seconds to be able to just unwind from the day and be able to say, okay, I went through like so much today, and, you know, or yeah, just a hug would be great, or bring them their favorite cup of coffee or whatever, you know, makes a small difference. So when it goes to the outer community, especially those that are homeless, I mean, I can't even imagine what goes through their head. Like they don't even feel loved, right? So just be able to be heard and be able to have something in their tummy and just a warm hug, even if it is for just a moment, it sure, you know, really helps them. And I'm sure puts a smile on their face and yours as well. So it's wonderful. With that, Law, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please, everybody go and check out his website, go to his Instagram, give him the follow, the whole 9 yards, do the things. If you are interested in purchasing something from Law, please contact him and he'll hook you up. All the good stuff. Right?
Yes.
Go Jays. Absolutely. I don't know how the game is, but
it is apparently 1-1 at bottom of the sixth.
Okay. Let's go, Drake. Pull through.
Yes.
All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you soon. Thank you, Law, so very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. All right, with that, there's another Connect with Cari in the books. Again, yeah, go hit up Law if there's maybe something on his website that you see and you're like, oh, I want this style. Maybe he can, you know, make a special one for you. Who knows? Just say you're on, you know, you saw him on Connected with Cari and maybe he'll do something for you. With that, I hope you guys have a great evening. Join Dina and myself for another Shift Happens show where we actually will be talking about sports and the shifting that happens during sports. Maybe we'll talk about some Jays games. With that, and that'll be November 4th, so stay tuned for that. And I will see you guys next weekend for another episode of Connected with Cari. Make sure you guys stay tuned. And, of course, stay connected. Good night, everyone.
I will never give up. I never give up. When I've come so close.